Shante, thank you. Well, more developments, of course, in the Ninow story to come. We'll have a special On the Record after 7 o'clock. We'll speak to two psychologists, one of them a forensic psychologist, around these particular issues and around what this case shows around forensic psychology. We'll speak as well about the possible recovery options, the treatment that the victim in this case will need. Let's speak to the National Prosecuting Authority now. Their spokesperson for the NPA in Gauteng is Phindi Mjonondwane. She's on the line now. Phindi, good evening to you. You got the life sentence you pushed for. What's your reaction to today's ruling?
Well, we welcome the ruling as the NPA. We are satisfied with the fact that we successfully managed to convince the court that there is no other suitable sentence except for the life imprisonment sentence. And the court acceded to our request and then sentenced Mr. Ninow to life imprisonment.
Do you believe it shows that our criminal justice system works, that you're able to get justice in a case like this?
I beg your?
Do you believe this shows that the criminal justice system works, that you, as the NPA, are able to get justice in a case like this?
Indeed, yes. It proves that our courts are listening. When given enough evidence to convict a person, that normally happens. When given enough evidence, like we did, we have argued that Mr. Ninow failed to show genuine remorse, because if he did, he would not have hidden some important aspects that would prove that he planned the crime. It was a premeditated crime and he had intention to harm the child. So as the NPA, we are satisfied that indeed there is justice. Our courts are working tirelessly to remove those they deem not to belong to society.
Phindi, there's many parts of society celebrating tonight because of the length of the sentence, because it's life. But if you look at what actually happens in our parole system, it's entirely possible that he's out in less than 10 years.
No, listen, with regards to a life imprisonment term, it simply means a person first has to serve 25 years imprisonment before they can be considered for parole. And I don't want to speak on behalf of correctional services and the parole board system, but what I believe is that once a person becomes liable for release on parole, and then the necessary processes of involving the family of the victim, or the victim, if the victim is still alive, to be part of that hearing, to hear their side of the story, and to allow them to be part of the process. It does indeed take place. They normally involve the victims and their families to also have a voice before a person can be released on parole. So it does not automatically mean that once a person has served 25 years imprisonment, then they can be released. But it depends on the parole board's decision, which involves a process where family members must attend and be part of the process so that their voice can also be heard.
Phindi, this has been a horrific case. Some of the details impossible to report here on live TV. I imagine for some of your prosecutors, it's cases like this that they have to deal with every day. This shines a light on what your prosecutors go through, the kind of trauma they have to deal with.
Indeed, yes. We pride ourselves as the NPA on the efforts that are done by our prosecutors. They actually, on a daily basis, put themselves behind and put the victims first. Indeed, that's why we have programs like the Employee Wellness Program in the NPA, where employees are encouraged to seek help when they feel that they are overwhelmed by the kind of evidence that they have to lead in court, when they are overwhelmed with on a daily basis, on a monthly basis. Prosecutors have to watch these horrific images of these incidents, and it does take a toll on them. Hence, it is important to have debriefing sessions where they are able at least to ventilate, and share their frustrations. They have to share the kind of trauma that they see in terms of when they consult with families and their victims. So we do have mechanisms as the NPA to try and assist them, but as you have said, it is for society to appreciate the work that the prosecutors do. It's not an easy job, but obviously someone has to do it, and our prosecutors are showing commitment in what they do, and they are willing to go an extra mile to ensure that the victims of justice does see justice and realize justice.
Phindi, thank you very much indeed for your time. Phindi Mjonondwane, a spokesperson for the National Prosecuting Authority here on SABC News.